Welcome to the Egg Whisperer Show, a program exclusively designed to promote reproductive health awareness and discuss fertility preservation options. Here is your host, the Harvard-educated fertility specialist, Dr. Amy.
She's known as the Egg Whisperer.
Fertility expert Dr. Amy Abazadeh.
And you have yet another success story
Just launched by an East Bay fertility doctor.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Egg Whisperer Show. Without further ado, I want to introduce my special guest on tonight's show titled Delivering Hope. I have Mary Kennerly here.
Hello.
And I have Cat Dobbs here.
Hello.
Thank you guys for joining me. I really
Thank
appreciate
you for having
it.
us.
And I know that you guys have a very special bond, so I would love for you to share what that special bond is for our guest tonight.
Well, Kat and I had the pleasure of coming into each other's lives about, 3 years ago now. After a pretty long fertility journey, we found out we would need a surrogate, and we're blessed to meet Kat randomly. We
Like
were
on the street?
No, through a Google search. No, technically, we had to search for a surrogacy agency in Idaho, and you reviewed profiles for us, and Kat and her husband became our surrogate family for my husband and I.
Yeah.
So she gave birth to my twins, Vivian and Reed.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So then tell me what's going on now. Like, what is Delivering Hope?
Well, Delivering Hope is born from, while our journey was amazing, even with a few hiccups in terms of getting things lined up and needing to get more embryos, we were able to have such a great bond in terms of our relationship, which wasn't necessarily the plan, but just being who we are. And we opened up and connected like sisters, and having that bond with Kat helped me heal from all of the losses that I had endured until that point. And it's just become this beautiful thing. Kat's father-in-law actually christened my twins.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. That's really sweet.
Down in San Diego. And my husband and her husband are very good friends now. And it's just it was a fate connection, but we feel like we are able to facilitate other couples going through this journey and their surrogates to hopefully have something that resembles our journey, even just an eighth of it. And I think it would be an amazing experience for everyone.
So you guys basically started your own surrogacy agency. Is there anything like that in the country or the world for that? I don't think I've ever heard of that before.
No, not that we've heard of. Yeah, and I think that we saw an opportunity to be able to offer this to help surrogates and aspiring intended mothers have this bond that we had as well.
Yeah.
So that's what we're bringing to the table, offering counseling services to the mothers that most likely have endured such loss up until that point, and honoring that mountain that they've already climbed, and then walking together with them.
So we offer both perspectives, so the intended parents can kind of get the surrogate's perspective, and then vice versa too, as we walk through the journey. So going into our journey, I would have never known what Mary was thinking or what she had come from had she not opened up and been really vulnerable with me. So we're kind of hoping to facilitate that same sort of relationship with the parents and the surrogates moving forward.
So you guys both had a history before even meeting each other. So let's break that down. So let's talk about you, Kat. You wanted to be a surrogate, and tell me, like, how did you start that exploration process? Because certainly there are going to be other women out there who want to be surrogates, and they want to work with like really amazing women just like you. So talk to me about that process.
Basically, I watched my sister go through an infertility for a couple of years, and it was just really heartbreaking. Every month she would call me and tell me that, I started my period, I'm not pregnant this month, and it was just really hard to watch that. And so I decided, well, if you can't get pregnant, I'll carry your babies for you. Well, then she ended up getting pregnant, but I still just had this burden on my heart for other couples who had struggled, and it felt like this injustice to me that I was able to get pregnant by looking at my husband, and and other people weren't, and it just didn't seem fair. So I decided that I wanted to be able to share the gift that I'd been given with other couples.
Yeah, and I think what people don't realize is most surrogates are like you. Probably like the majority are. And so for families who are fearful about like looking for someone, like most people are angels walking among us, just like Kat.
Yes.
And so, I think it's really nice for people to hear that. So then how did you start your research as far as like which agency to work with?
I mean, I really just did a Google search. I didn't know where to start, and I found an agency, and I submitted 30-page application, and they never called me back. And so I had just mentioned to a friend that I was looking, and she happened to know somebody who knew somebody, and I found the agency that way, and it ended up being a God thing. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And then how did you come to find out about surrogacy and being something that you needed?
Well, after our third loss with you, and we thought we made it. We had already gone quite an uphill battle, and we went in for, I remember you said, you don't need to come up for the ultrasound, Mary. You can go to your regular OB. And I said, no, I want to come to you. And that's when we found out we had lost our daughter at that point, and we all cried. And being you had your plan, or you were like, these are the options, and I was like, let's go, and Wes was like, slow down. But obviously fertility, surrogacy can be expensive, and you suggested maybe just check into Idaho, and I went home and I got to work and started Googling, and my biggest thing was the same thing. I had reached out to a couple agencies and didn't hear back, and to me that didn't make any sense coming from the business world, and I'm all about being wrapped around and, you know, service-wise and compassion, because I had gotten that from you. And the person that ended up calling me back was great and presented Kat, you know, to you later that week, and that was that. So yeah, and here we are.
Yeah. And tell me, what was it like meeting each other for the first time? Like for both of you, like how did you feel? How did you feel? Tell us.
I we did a Skype call, because on a lot of it, I was in California, you were in Idaho, and I knew within like 3 minutes, I think, I just felt calm. And I know that is me reading into my instinct, but just everything. I mean, I was like, I don't want you to eat this, I don't want you to do that, I'm just gonna put it on the table now so it's all real. And you were like, absolutely. Okay. And like, but it wasn't forced. I could tell that you were like, anything you guys want. And it just flowed. It just seemed really natural.
Okay, what was the weirdest thing she asked you to do or not do?
I think the pineapple core thing was a little odd. For a meeting, I mean, I physically met her for the first time coming down an escalator, you know, after flying to Oakland to have the transfer. Yeah. And so that was like our first time meeting, but then...
Face to face, but you guys had met.
Yeah, like, we had met on the phone and talked a lot and stuff before then. But yeah, I mean, the process. And then she's like, would you mind eating this pineapple core? I was like, this is your pregnancy, I'll do whatever you want, but this is a little bit weird. I mean, it was all stuff that, you know, like, I wouldn't want the person carrying my baby to eat raw fish or cheese, you know, all this stuff that you're not supposed to do. It was like, whatever you want me to do to make you feel like this pregnancy is going to work and be perfect, I'm going to do any of that.
So what advice do you have for people who are watching the show who are considering surrogacy as their path to pregnancy, as far as like, what are some tips that they should know about to prepare for leading up to the transfer? What are the things that you guys are going to do to help families that you think like other agencies could probably learn from you, or other families could probably do when they're seeking your services?
My biggest piece of advice, and I think it goes for our whole journey and beyond, is just be open and honest and real about everything. Put everything on the table. So many people want to be polite, or oh, maybe I shouldn't say that. Or I mean, when I was struggling with the fact that I still couldn't carry, I would share that with Kat. I mean, I was real and honest and open, and that's where we really bonded. And I think building that rapport with your surrogate or with your parents allows you to really strengthen that bond. It gave Kat a bigger picture of what I had been through, and it just made me more of a human, and she was more of a human to me. I remember being just flattered that someone would want to do this for me. But then once I knew her, I knew, it made complete sense that I wanted to do this. So. Yeah.
And then what about, go ahead, Kat.
I was going to say, I felt flattered that somebody would allow me to do something like this. It was just, I don't know, I just wanted so bad to do this for somebody and to help somebody out. And I just thought, man, to trust somebody with something like this is huge. But same thing, when I met her, it was just, I don't know, I just felt very comfortable. And I would say that in the matching process, you know, you want to make sure that you match. You want to make sure your personalities fit, and morally, and ideas that you have. I mean, everything. Because if you're just being polite and you end up getting matched, this is a long, intimate journey with somebody, and you don't want to be with somebody that you're not, you know, that you don't really fit with, or that you don't really, you know, get along with each other, or you don't have the same ideas about things. But same thing as what Mary said. I just think that she was very vulnerable and open in the very beginning, and I would just have had no idea what she had been through had she not been so open with me. But it helped me to empathize with her more and understand where she'd come from more, and it helped me to I don't know, I think we both helped each other along the journey.
Yeah.
You know, when I was pregnant and not feeling good, she was able to help me. And when she was going through a lot emotionally, and I guess there's a lot of stigma around infertility that I had no idea. So it helped me just to support her more in the ways that I needed to, had just being so open with me.
Right. Right. And then how did the pregnancy go? Like you're in Idaho and you're in so how do you do that?
So that's another thing in terms of laying everything out. Like, I think in terms of what you expect in communication with your surrogate, I think that should all be out there in the beginning. And if it changes throughout the process, be real. Like, I think I need 5 texts a day to make sure I know you're doing it okay. Or, hey, 5 texts is a little much. I have to live my life and take care of my own family. Just being open in that dialogue and conversation. Going through so much loss on my own, I did have moments that I was so scared, and she'd be at a doctor's appointment and I'd be texting, or I hadn't heard from her, and she'd be like, I'm so sorry, I was trying to call you, I couldn't get service. Just being real about being scared, and that, like sharing every moment if that's what you guys decide. Or the pregnancy was fantastic. I honestly think my kids have a better relationship with sugar because she had them, because she didn't eat any, and I would have been eating it all the time. But we were very fortunate. Kat kept the twins baking inside till 36 and a half weeks, which is remarkable. They were both over 6 pounds, no NICU time. The birth was amazing. Yeah. We had the whole hospital staff cheering for us. They let us bring a photographer into the operating room, and it just was the coolest thing. The nurses still ask about us. So it
was fun. I mean, being pregnant, it's her pregnancy too, and I wanted to share every moment of that. So every time the babies would start kicking, I'd call her and be like, "Oh my gosh, can you see this? Look at this!" And then they did a bunch of recordings and sent up some speakers with the recorder. So at night, I would put these little sticky things on my belly and push play. Yeah. And it would be mom and dad reading them stories and singing and talking and joking, and it was fun.
Just those little things, and just keeping the communication open, I think, and the expectations. And there's just so much that we can learn from each other, and if we share ourselves a little bit more, it facilitates that bond. So.
And then what about breastfeeding? Tell me about that.
So, I decided I wanted to try to induce lactation, even though I had never heard of such a thing until about 3 months before I met you. And so I gave it a whirl. And I was very fortunate that it worked just by pumping, which was remarkable. But obviously, my body hadn't been through a pregnancy, and I didn't have the hormones to produce as much milk. So I was very, very fortunate. I think even probably watching me try inspired you to keep pumping. She pumped for us, and we did all the research, and we would do shipments every week. Nice. And it also allowed your body to heal from the pregnancy as well, knowing that she was still. So that was a remarkable experience. Probably one of the most memorable moments of my life was feeding my children for the first time. So
So then now we have Delivering Hope, right? So where did that name come from? Tell me about that.
Well, as you'll see too when we tell you our website, but Delivering Hope, one thing that I remember you grabbed my hand after maybe our 3rd round of IVF and said, thank you for sticking with me and not giving up yet, and I thought, what are you talking about? I'm not going anywhere until we get my babies. I've been known to be a tenacious kid, and I couldn't stop until I had them, but it really was at the end of the day, after every miscarriage and every bad news that we received, if I woke up the next morning and still wanted to keep going, had even just an ounce of hope, I think that we had to keep going. Whatever you believe in, God, the universe, that was the world's way of telling me this is supposed to be, even though everything is telling us maybe not. And so, that being said, we really want to honor the mountain that the families have already climbed. And if they are a little tired and don't have as much hope as they did in the beginning, we want to be that hope for them, because we know exactly where they've been.
Hope is everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. So tell us about your website. What's the website name?
It's deliveringhopeLLC.com. And you can learn more about us there. And then we have a video from actually the start of my relationship with my wonderful husband through modern day and our journey and just how amazing it is, and get ready to cry. It's a good one.
It is. I cry every time I watch it. I love watching it. And so what's going to happen from here?
Well, we are ready to help, and we are helping families already, and we are so excited. We want to be the biggest cheerleaders like you were for Wes and I, and we are just energized to share our perspective and our expertise at this point of this journey, and hopefully make the world a little bit of a better place.
Absolutely. By delivering hope.
Delivering hope.
Yeah. Well, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. I just wanted to say thank you for both of you for coming out here and being my special guests. It was so nice for you guys to share your stories, and I just hope that, you know, if we could have helped just one person out there just listening to especially Mary's experience of miscarriage and feeling like you're not alone out there, I think we did a good thing today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Good night.
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 Welcome to the Egg Whisperer Show, a program exclusively designed to promote reproductive health awareness and discuss fertility preservation options. Here is your host, the Harvard-educated fertility specialist, Dr. Amy.
She's known as the Egg Whisperer.
Fertility expert Dr. Amy Abazadeh.
And you have yet another success story.
Just launched by an East Bay fertility doctor.